folks, welcome to Thinking Theology. I'm Don. I look at theological topics philosophically. I don't care if somebody believes in God. I don't care if they don't. My approach in life is probably based on kindergarten logic or feelings. If someone's nice, I like them. If they're not nice, I don't like them. I just tend to like kind people, thoughtful people, and such. So anyway, that's how I review. That's the lens, the paradigm through which I look at the thoughts that others present. And on this one, it's Bill Maher. He's on the Piers Morgan show, which I've never watched that show, but I've seen clips of other people like Bill Maher on the show. And Bill's position on this one is faith is just an opinion. So let's see what Bill's got to say. There are some times where Maher is maddening. I used to think he was a giant douche back in the day. But now he's sort of calling his own party out. He's a lifelong Democrat, but he calls his own party out on the lunacy of like wokeism and other stuff. But anyway, this is about faith. Let's see what he's got to say.
Isn't it quite inspiring what he does?
Inspiring?
Yeah.
Inspiring to who?
Well,
to people who are religious?
If you work from the point of view that most Americans are not atheists like you, then actually if they do believe in God, having a clean living, superly talented professional sportsman actually being very,
Tebow,
modest, humble.
And why couldn't he do this without the religiosity?
Why can't he do it with his religion if he believes?
Well, he can. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. But let's not forget that faith is just an opinion. It's just somebody's opinion, which gets us back to Rick Santorum, who thinks it's something more than just an opinion. And that's what I would like to say to him, because he said today very clearly he doesn't really believe in the separation of church and state.
Yeah, he did.
And that's absolutely ridiculous. That is unacceptable in this country. It is just your and you are allowed to have your opinion.
He's right as far as the Constitution goes with separation of church and state, but there's a lot more to it back then. And you're not... This gets into such broad-ranging philosophical topics, but he's not entirely wrong, but it's more nuanced than that. But let's see where the rest of the interview goes.
To have your opinion that a Palestinian 2,000 years ago walked on water and did magic tricks and he's really still his own father and all that stuff. That's fine. You can have whatever opinion you want. And the fact that a billion other people believe it gives you a lot of strength and credence. But I also have the opinion that that's ridiculous, that it's anachronistic. This is the 21st century.
But you might have that opinion, Bill, but the reality is most Americans are God-fearing. And they actually, I suspect, do believe that for people of religious influence to work in politics as well and to...
He's right. Actually, studies worldwide have shown that the vast majority of people, like not just a majority of like 51%, it's something like upwards of 90% people worldwide believe that there is a higher power, whatever they call it, whether Buddhists believe in what they believe, Hindus, Christians, Jews, Muslims. That's sort of like the Abrahamic faiths, but the thousands of religions worldwide believe, about 90% of folks, close to 90%, believe that there's a higher power. So Pierce is right about that.
It is, of course. I'm not saying anybody's opinion should be outlawed in the public square. I'm just saying that is your opinion. Don't tell me this is my faith, so somehow it means something more than my opinion, because it doesn't mean anything more than my opinion. My opinion is just as valid as your opinion, and my opinion is you're nuts.
Maher's not wrong. Then it gets into how do we define our terms? What constitutes an opinion? What place does belief have in that? Then even fact or truth. How do we define these terms? How do we verify it? How do we falsify things in the scientific realm? Sir Karl Popper very much, sort of laid out his, 5 principles of what constitutes science, and you have to be able to disprove something, or it has to be subject to testing and such. But to me, I agree with Maher on that. Belief it's an opinion. When somebody says, I believe God raised Jesus from the dead, that is a perfectly acceptable statement, right? To me, whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. When somebody says, I believe that, somebody could say, I believe whatever, and say, all right, fine. Nowadays with the woke movement. But boys can declare to be girls, girls can just declare to be boys, and that makes it so. And it's like, no, to me, there's no basis for that. That's about feeling. But if you say, as a 30-year-old man, I believe I'm a woman, I can't negate that. That's what you believe. Fair enough. And then I could simply say, I don't share that belief, which is fair to me as well. It doesn't mean we have to fight over it. But with Maher is saying that, as far as, say, Tim Tebow or Santorum or whomever, Bill doesn't like the politicos, the politicians, waving their faith out there, which is to say, I don't have a problem with it as long as it doesn't get in the way of enforcing the law. We're a nation of laws. It doesn't get in the way of enforcing that or respecting that. Same way for atheists. Murder is wrong. Did that originate, that precept or concept originate in the Bible? Probably not. It predated it, my guess. Man has been around, if you believe anthropologists, has been around for over 100,000 years, and we've been cooperating, which has made us the apex creature on planet Earth. There's a reason we, who could not take a lion one-on-one, still control the lions when we want to, and that's because we cooperate with one another. Cooperation means there's going to be some kind of rules. We'll call them ethics, call them morals, behavioral, legal. You can't kill somebody. Was that co-opted by the people who wrote the Bible? Was it, people who believe the Bible is the Word of God, and mankind is only 6,000 years old, believe it was handed down by God, all this. But if we could get to the point of saying, all right, murder's wrong, stealing is wrong, we pretty much all agree on that. Not everybody. Some people are into murder. Some people think stealing's all right too. Not their stuff, but others. So anyway, guys, you could leave your comment. I agree with Maher that it's an opinion, and it becomes belief when you, in a sense, believe that it's objective, that it's the truth, handed down by God. You cannot gainsay that. There's no debate about it. And then in some ways, that's when we get into trouble. But anyhow, I like this discussion the two of them had. It was civil. Maher made good points. Pierce made good points. That's the way it should be. All right, folks, leave your comments, subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep thinking theology.